The Syrian Arab Armed Forces continue their operations against terrorists in various areas in Syria. Gatilov confirms that the Syrian opposition got new quantities of Western-made weapons. And the terrorist Sabah Osman admits to torture and killing of female hostages in Damascus countryside. Good afternoon. Our armed forces continued their operations to purge some of the areas from armed terrorist groups in various areas of the Aleppo Governorate. The people of Aleppo are fully cooperating with the armed forces, giving information about the movements and hideouts of terrorists. Units of our armed forces carried out qualitative operations in several schools and hospitals that were used by the terrorists, inflicting heavy casualties among them and chasing those who escaped from the area of Saif al-Dawli. Our armed forces confiscated large amounts of smuggled weapons and ammunition. They also defused several explosive devices. A military unit clashed with a terrorist group in the village of Ratian to the north of Aleppo and killed and wounded many terrorists. They also destroyed one of their warehouses containing a large number of RPG missiles. Competent authorities in the Crackdown near Dar'a are still pursuing the remnants of mercenaries and terrorists. Earlier, the security forces chased the escaping mercenary terrorists from the village of Al-Ahrak, killing several of them and capturing many others. Among the dead are the two of the most wanted terrorists, namely Salah Adnan al-Khalaf, also known as the Wasp, and Muhammad Turki al-Kiseba. Security forces confronted yesterday an armed terrorist group using pickup trucks that tried to attack the law enforcement forces on the Salamiya Adaqqa road near Al-Mazra area, killing many of its members. A source in the province of Hama said that the clash led to the killing of 3 terrorists and the arrest of 2 others, and the confiscation of their weapons, including automatic weapons and RPG launchers and grenades. In the Salamiya city, an armed terrorist group detonated a minibus packed with explosives near a shopping area in the city's Fiche district, damaging a number of residential buildings and shops and causing several injuries. Gennady Gatilov, the Deputy Foreign Minister of Russia, asserted that there were many indications showing that the Syrian opposition obtained Western weapons. He asserted on a website that events described by the mass media showed that such weapons were sent by Western countries through other parties. Gatilov expressed surprise concerning the Western sanctions imposed on Syria. He said, "We would like to know how Western officials who call for sanctions against Syria would show us guarantees to implement such sanctions in these circumstances." The Chinese member of the State Council, Dai Binggu, renewed his country's rejection of any intervention in the internal affairs of other countries and changing their governments in these countries by force, stressing that the key to solve the Syrian crisis is represented by finding a political solution and the international community's commitment with the United Nations Accord, exerting efforts to reduce the tension and participate in dialogue. Bingu said today in a press conference that the key for the crisis in Syria is in finding a political solution, reaching a comprehensive and immediate ceasefire from all sides, and the strict commitment of the international community with the aim of and principles of the UN Charter and the basic rules of international rules, and directing their efforts to ease tension in Syria, as well as participating in the political dialogue in the country to overcome disputes and enhance peace and security in the Middle East. The German newspaper Bild am Sonntag stressed yesterday that German spies stationed off the Syrian coast are collecting information to assist the armed terrorist groups. The newspaper said that elements of the German Federal Intelligence Service operating from ships deployed off the Syrian coast are using new technologies that allow them to monitor the movement of Syrian troops to the depth of 600 kilometers. The newspaper added that those spies provide the US and British officers with the information they get, who will in turn transfer them to terrorists in Syria. The newspaper also said that the elements of the German intelligence are also operating from a NATO base in the Turkish city of Adana. The German Defense Minister Thomas de Maizière admitted recently that his country is involved in supporting the armed groups in Syria. The British Sunday Times newspaper revealed that the British intelligence secretly helped the armed terrorist groups to launch many terrorist attacks in Syria. The newspaper pointed out in yesterday's edition that this is the first time that the British intelligence role is revealed in the events taking place in Syria. The paper mentioned that a source of what they call the Syrian opposition told them that the British authorities are aware of this. The paper added that this intelligence passes the secret information from the British military base in Cyprus to Turkey, then to the militias that call themselves the Free Army. The terrorist Sabah Osman admitted that she participated with armed terrorist gangs in Douma in kidnapping a number of women, torturing and killing them, while she was working as an interrogator who was recruited by the mercenary terrorists. She said in her confessions, telecasted by the Syrian Arab television yesterday, that she was acquainted with a person named Ala Mahfoud from Harasta, who introduced her to other terrorists in the so-called group of Liwa al-Islam, the Brigade of Islam, whose leader was named Zahran al-Lush. The terrorists employed her as an interrogator to torture girls that the terrorists kidnapped. She admitted that she was ordered to beat up those girls and to exert all kinds of pressure on them to answer questioning by the terrorists. The terrorists then killed the girls and threw their dead bodies near a slaughterhouse where there were large numbers of dogs that ate the corpses. She asserted that those crimes were all filmed. New archaeological discoveries in the archaeological site of Amrit city have been revealed by the National Syrian Exploration Mission, this time found economical and sport discoveries near the archaeological temple. The mission found new blocks of bronze, metal and glass, the matter that made them enhance the expectations to be an industrial facility. In addition to pottery materials, the place shows that there were rooms used as working halls. In the Olympic Stadium, the exploration process built according to a new measure for the stadium, in addition to a detailed explanation about the archaeological stadium's situation. This revealed an arched shape that was set up as a place for the audience. And from Amrit, we conclude our bulletin. For more news, visit our website syriaonline.sy.